Hey y'all. So Thailand doesn't want expats anymore. Well, today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why that might be, or at least 5 things about Thailand that make you feel that way. Let's get into it. Number one, right off the bat, visa fatigue. People just get fed up and tired with not only the ever-changing visa scene. It's a new visa every couple weeks, and this one's good for 5 years, and this one's good for 10 years. And there's a constant state of change when it comes to visas. And I'm not just talking about the tourist entry going between 30 days and 60 days. I'm talking about a visa, a real visa that you get when you come to Thailand, especially if you want to stay long term, right? The education visa, the DTV, a retirement visa, the LTR, all kinds of different visas. And that doesn't even start into the ones that you hear about. I think I heard 2 last week, new ones that have been proposed. There's constant change. But coupled with the problems of the ever-changing visa landscape is the bank account. Now, I'm still on point number 1 because these two go hand in hand. For example, to get a retirement visa in Thailand, you have to have a Thai bank account. Well, to get a Thai bank account, and that's a whole nother video about how hard that has gotten these days, but to get a Thai bank account, you have to have a long-term visa. See the problem there? You have to have one to get the other, and the other one says, yeah, you just keep going in circles. And some of the latest changes, right, the crackdowns to try and eliminate some of the call center scams and fraud and abuse and misuse of banking functions, accounts here in Thailand. Bangkok Bank in particular has started closing bank accounts for people who don't have a long-term visa. And that includes the DTV, the Destination Thailand visa, which was advertised, still is advertised as a 5-year visa, but it's only good 6 months at a time. So technically, it's a short-term visa, and you can't have a bank account, and Bangkok Bank is closing those accounts. So this new talk of a 10-year visa coming out, well, don't have any details on it yet, and of course, you never know what you're actually going to get, if anything, but if it's a 10-year visa, 6 months at a time, it's not going to do anybody any good either. So visa fatigue, fed up with the visa process, fed up with the banks and bank accounts that you have to get a visa, and that whole circle there. That's a big driver of frustration with a lot of people staying long-term in Thailand. Luckily for me, I've got a retirement visa, I've got my bank account, and so far they haven't closed it. You're talking about visas and how hard they are to get, how hard a long-term visa is to get, the hassles of the banks. That's driving a lot of folks to look at other countries that are more visa friendly. You know, if they want to be in some place that's affordable, it's warm all the time, and if Vietnam, if Malaysia have more friendly visa standards or visa opportunities for long-term stays, people are starting to look at those places. Number 2, tax uncertainty. Now, whether or not you have to pay taxes as a resident of Thailand, there's a lot of debate about. I'm not a tax expert. I'm not going to answer the question for you. What I will talk about is how the uncertainty, the misinformation, the information that's out there, or the lack of information that's out there, gives rise to that feeling that makes people want to leave and find what they think is a more tax-friendly environment. Long and short of it is, if you're a long-term resident of Thailand, you may have a tax obligation here in the country. And a lot of people, for whatever reason, feel like they don't want to pay taxes here. And I understand that if you've already paid taxes on your income in another country. Of course, if you're earning income here, if you've got a visa and a work permit that allows you to do that, you know you're going to have a tax obligation. But as far as a retiree or a long-term resident here, whether or not you owe taxes is a big sense of confusion and uncertainty that brings a lot of stress and anxiety to staying long-term in Thailand and whether or not you want to do that. So the news is full of reports that the Thai government has announced that they're going to come after YouTubers and social media folks for generating revenue in the country, and they want taxes on that. The flip side of that is I hate the term influencer, but the social media folks, the influencers, are out there talking about Thailand and telling folks like you why it's so nice to live here or why it's so nice to visit here. So the next story that you see on the news is tourism is down in Thailand, and what are we going to do about it? And 1 million less people came last month than, year over year is down 4 months in a row. So tourism to Thailand is in the tank right now. The whole long-term residency issue is driving people out of the country. And with taxation, are they going to tax your pension in your home country? Are they going to chase YouTubers out of the country? Taxes are a big question everywhere, and it's even more of a question here because, again, I guess this is Thailand, right? So with Thailand comes uncertainty. There's not a lot of certainty. There's not a lot of good, clear information out there on when and how to get this sorted out and whether or not you actually have a tax obligation. And I'm not talking about just a reporting obligation, because chances are you may have a reporting obligation but not have any tax obligation. But that just means more overhead, more paperwork, more things you got to do. We'll figure it out, hopefully. Like I said, I don't have a solution, but that is number 2 on the list for why folks might be leaving Thailand, or why folks might be choosing another country instead of Thailand. Same thing on these tax obligations. When other nearby countries offer a similar cost of living, a similar landscape, easier visas, and no tax obligations, well, folks are choosing those places, and they're either leaving Thailand or they're not coming anymore. Okay, number 3, cost of living here in Thailand. Now you're going to see, if you go back in my playlist, you're going to see me talk about how inexpensive it is here in Thailand for me to live. I still live on less than $1,000 a month, and I live comfortably by my standards here in Thailand. But let's do a quick comparison. I did a video, I don't know, maybe it's a year ago now, talking about how you could save 10% by timing the swing in the value of the Thai baht compared to the US dollar. And at the time, you were getting, or I was getting, 37 Thai baht to the dollar. Well, the baht has gotten very strong and the dollar has gotten a little bit weaker. But right now, the going exchange rate's right around 32 baht. And those swings, those patterns that I had talked about in that other video, haven't existed in quite a while. But 32 to 37 baht is a 15% increase. So it's 15% more expensive to live here now than it was when I moved here a year and a half ago. And that's a big hit for folks on a fixed budget. It can make things tough when everything you do, your rent goes up 15%, your food goes up 15% in the grocery store. And it's not necessarily that the prices are going up. I'm not talking about inflation. Certainly there is some inflation here in Thailand, and folks who've been here a lot longer can tell you that, oh yeah, prices have gone up over time. But I'm just talking about exchange rate, right? If you bring $1,000 into Thailand now, you're only going to get 32,000 baht. A year and a half ago, you would have gotten 37,000 baht. So that's a big difference. That 5,000 baht difference goes a long way. We're talking about 150 bucks, $160. So, that's my food budget for the month. Thailand is getting more expensive. There's no doubt about it. Is it still inexpensive or super affordable compared to most places in the West? Yeah, absolutely. But something to keep in mind, and something that is driving people potentially out of the country to cheaper nearby destinations would be the exchange rates, right? If you've got a better exchange rate somewhere else nearby that offers you similar comfort but a cheaper cost of living, well, that's going to move people, or that's going to cause people to go there for their visit or their travels, their vacations, instead of coming here. Something to think about. Number 4 on the list, the forever foreigner syndrome. You are forever a foreigner in Thailand. Getting Thai citizenship is possible, but it's extremely difficult. We've talked about, just being able to stay here long term can be difficult on a visa. Finding a way into permanent residency or into actual citizenship is a lot easier in many other countries. We talk about in the US, the news is about a golden visa coming out that's going to have a pathway to citizenship. It's a very popular program in many countries in Europe and in the Caribbean nations. A lot of those island nations have golden visas. Even in Central America, you'll find it. But at Thailand, you don't have that, and you are always a foreigner here. That's just the way it is, right? It's a cultural thing, it's a governmental thing. If it's not something you're willing to live with and assimilate to, it's going to cause problems for you. And a lot of people struggle with that. They say they always feel like an outsider and they're not comfortable, or they feel excluded. But Thailand's a very proud country, and they take care of their people. There are restrictions around jobs that are reserved for only Thai people. There are many, many restrictions throughout the country. There are many programs throughout the country that favor Thai people over foreigners, whether it's tourists or long-term residents. You see a lot of videos out there or news out there about dual pricing in the national parks. There's one price for a Thai citizen and there's another price for a foreigner for admission to those parks. Now, there's been some talk lately from the government about doing away with that in the government destinations, but we'll see if that actually happens. So you are forever a visitor here in the country. Chances are, even if you were to obtain Thai citizenship, you don't look Thai, you're not going to be treated like a Thai. That's just the way it is. And that goes many, many places. So just something to be aware of. Might that drive people away too? Well, it's number 4 out of 5. Now, number 5 really goes toward investors or folks who want to be in Thailand long term. A lot of people want to own their own home. They don't want to rent. In Thailand, it's very difficult for a foreigner to actually own land. Now, there are some ways to do it, whether it's through a company or having a Thai spouse, but then there's shared ownership in that, or the entity owns that. In most instances, a foreigner simply cannot own land in Thailand. There are some exclusions for agricultural land above a certain size and things like that. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's extremely difficult. It's not like in places in Europe, where they're selling homes for €1 or €1,000 if you fix it up and move there. And those countries also have great visa programs. Thailand doesn't have that. You can't own that house. And I know people are going to jump in and correct the semantics, because maybe you can own a house, but you have to lease the land under it. Well, whatever. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Whether it's the house physically, the land physically. Owning something other than a condo in Thailand is very difficult, and that goes against the desires of a lot of folks who want to have their own home. So when that's easier in other places, well, that can cause people to not choose Thailand as a retirement destination. Or when they go from condo mode to wanting to own something and realize they can't, well, if they can in another country, maybe they'll go check that out. Like I said, not a big impact for really short-time folks, but if you're looking to stay long-term in Thailand, it's something you need to consider or at least be aware of. Chances are you're not going to own your own home. So what do you think about these 5 things? Do I have them out of order? Is there one that plucks your nerves more than the others? Is there something that I left off the list? I'm sure there's a lot I left off the list. These are the 5 that seem to come up the most frequently. Now, all that said, I'm staying. I'm here. I've got no intentions of going back to the US. I've got no intentions of leaving Thailand. And coming up, I'll be making some announcements about some other plans I've got that are going to really anchor me down to Thailand for the future. So stick around and find out more about that. Let me know in the comments down below if you have actually stayed in Thailand long term and you have left, or if you're seriously considering leaving. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, I don't know, if I get taxed here, I'm going to leave. And they never do, right? It's kind of like the celebrities back in the US during election season, which whoever's running, whatever celebrity it is, if that one wins, I'm leaving. If that one wins, I'm leaving. I think 3 have left, and we could do without a bunch more of them, but I leave all that stuff behind and let you all suffer back in the US. If you've actually left Thailand because of one of these 5 reasons, tell us why. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.